Love knows no bounds, and nobody understands this better than Sino, a man separated from his childhood sweetheart Janu for 14 years, 3 months, and 17 days. He knows deep in his heart that they are soulmates, and no matter what life throws at him, he believes they are destined to be together. Every single day without fail, Sino jogs from his home toward the bench at the Ramakrishna signal, arriving precisely at 7:30. He made a promise to Janu that every morning at 7:30, he would be waiting right here, and he has never broken it. His thoughts are suddenly interrupted by his ringing phone. He answers, and the caller informs him that the Uber he ordered has arrived at the location. Sino begins to explain that he never ordered any Uber, but then he hears something that stops him cold. A hauntingly beautiful violin melody flows through the speaker. It is the exact melody he composed for Janu when they were children. Nobody in this world knows that melody except the two of them. He begs the driver not to hang up and frantically asks where he is, because after all these years, he finally has a chance to find Janu. The driver is about to answer when a thief snatches the phone right out of Sino's hand. Without hesitation, Sino gives chase, pursuing the thief through narrow streets and across rooftops. He grabs hold of the thief's shirt, but it tears away. In that brief moment, he catches a glimpse of familiar scars on the thief's back, scars that belong to Pandu, a bully he knew as a child. Sino takes a shortcut and cuts the thief off. Burning with anger, he demands to know why Pandu always finds a way to destroy things for him. He calls him by name, and Pandu freezes in shock. Sino reminds him of the day Pandu stole his money as children, and because of that, he got hit by a car at the Ramakrishna signal. A moment that changed everything. Young Sino was just 12 years old, an orphan with no one in the world to care for him. Every morning, he would play popular Bollywood tunes at the Ramakrishna signal, earning whatever little money people would spare. Sometimes he would treat himself to pani puri from a street vendor near his favorite tree. And that is exactly where he first met Janu. She was a beautiful little girl who immediately stood out from everyone around her. Both Sino and the vendor watched in fascination as she always asked for the water first, then the puree, but rather than dipping it, she would crunch it into pieces and sprinkle it into the water. Every little quirk about her made her completely unforgettable. The first time she noticed Sino, she asked if he knew how to play the ektara. Eager to impress her, Sino played a well-known tune. Janu grimaced and shook her head. Without wasting a second, Sino began composing something entirely new, something just for her. Before long, Janu instructed her driver to take Ram Krishna Street on the way to school every morning. Each day, she would drop 100 rupees into Sino's hands. In return, she playfully told him she could read palms and that the lines on his hand revealed a clear destiny. 100 rupees every day, as long as he showed up at the signal at 7 a.m. Sino laughed and promised to be there every single morning. The two of them grew inseparable, and everyone around them could see the powerful bond they shared. But life had other plans. When Janu's father received a transfer letter relocating the entire family to Delhi, their world came crashing down. On her final ride down Ram Krishna Road, Janu wrote her mother's phone number on a 100-rupee note and placed it in Sino's hands. She gestured for him to call her. He nodded, holding the note like it was the most precious thing in the world. But in the blink of an eye, Pandu snatched it away and ran. Sino sprinted after him across the street and was struck by a speeding car. The woman behind the wheel was Sarojini, who was devastated by what had happened. She rushed the little boy to the hospital immediately. Moved deeply by Sino's gentle innocence, Sarojini and her husband made a life-changing decision. They gave him a new name, Avinash, and welcomed him into their home. They enrolled him in school and surrounded him with everything he had never dared to dream of. Though both their lives had changed forever, neither Avinash nor Janu ever forgot each other. Janu waited every day for his call, while every morning at 7 a.m., Avinash stood faithfully at the Ram Krishna signal, waiting for the girl who never came. Time moved on, and they both grew up. Janu melted down her glass bangles to craft a single bangle that fit her wrist. She taught herself the violin from a young age, just so she would never forget the melody Sino once wrote for her. Back in the present, Avinash cuts through Pandu's excuses. He has no interest in apologies. He wants only one thing: the phone number. Pandu delivers the worst possible news. The phone is already in the hands of smugglers who run a massive stolen mobile phone operation. Avinash sets off with Pandu toward the warehouse. The goons at the entrance block his path and tell him to leave. That is the wrong answer. Avinash takes down the guard at the door with explosive force, triggering a full-on brawl as every thug in the place swarms toward him. He fights through every single one of them and demands to know where the phones are. The answer hits him hard. The phones were shipped to Delhi just 10 minutes ago. He immediately jumps on a motorcycle and tears down the road after the container truck. Outmaneuvering every thug sent to stop him, he forces the truck to a halt. He tears through hundreds of stolen phones until he finally finds his own. Relief washes over him until he flips it over and sees the screen completely shattered. He rushes to a nearby phone repair shop, but the remaining goons track him down using his location. A fierce fight breaks out, but the moment his phone is fixed, Avinash calls the Uber driver and asks about the person who played that melody. The driver tells him a beautiful woman performed it at the Rockville Music Festival. Hope surges through Avinash. It has to be Janu. But this moment of distraction costs him dearly. A heavy blow connects with the back of his head, and everything goes dark. The thugs drag him back to the warehouse and tie him to a chair. And it was indeed Janu who played that soulful melody. But the most extraordinary part? Avinash had already met her. 1 week earlier, Janu, who now went by her real name Priya, had arrived in Hyderabad for her close friend's wedding. It was her last opportunity to find Sino before she left the country for good. Priya had boarded her flight from Delhi and by sheer chance was seated right next to Avinash's mother, who took an instant liking to her and talked nonstop, especially about her wonderful son. The moment the plane landed, Priya politely excused herself and escaped. Her friend picked her up from the airport, but their tire punctured in a heavy downpour. Their elderly driver stepped out into the rain to fix it. Avinash, who had just arrived at the airport with his mother, pulled over and helped without a second thought. That small gesture left a lasting impression on Priya. The following morning during his jog, Avinash spotted street children dancing around with pure joy. When he asked why, they told him a kind woman was giving every child 100 rupees. That woman was Priya. By the time Avinash reached her, she had run out of money, and one last boy stood there looking heartbroken. Avinash handed the boy 100 rupees without hesitation. Priya recognized him from the airport and the car incident, thanked him warmly, and the two of them walked together for a while, talking and laughing like old friends before parting ways. That evening, Prakash returned home from a business trip. As Sarojini gushed about Priya and how perfect she would be for Avinash, Prakash noticed her anniversary diamond ring was missing. Sarojini laughed and explained her scheme. She had left the ring in Priya's bag as an honesty test. If Priya returned it, she was exactly the person Sarojini believed her to be. Prakash turned pale. That was not a fake ring. It was a genuine 50 lakh diamond ring. Panic set in, and then the doorbell rang. It was Priya, holding the ring out to return it. When Avinash opened the door and the two recognized each other, he immediately put the pieces together and teased her about the chattering auntie on the plane. Priya, ever gracious, begged him not to embarrass Sarojini. And just like that, a beautiful friendship was born. Over the next 5 days, Priya and Avinash were nearly inseparable. She invited his family to the wedding. They grew deeply close, completely captivated by each other. But everything shattered when Priya learned about Sino's accident. She was told he was never seen again after that day. Devastated, she pulled away from Avinash completely and avoided him until the wedding. At the wedding, they shared a quiet moment together. Avinash confessed his feelings. But Priya couldn't stay. She ran. In his desperate attempt to hold her back, he accidentally broke her glass bangle, the one she had kept as her last connection to Sino. Heartbroken and overwhelmed, Priya slapped him and told him never to come near her again. Now in the present, Avinash snaps awake, bound to a chair with thugs demanding ransom. He tears through the restraints, overtakes every thug in the room, and corners them all. The boss asks him desperately why that number was so important. Was he some kind of criminal? Avinash silences him with a single glare. He races to the Rockville Music Festival and finds the violin stall. He asks the vendor if anyone played a violin there recently. The vendor shrugs. Hundreds of people come and go. He can't remember everyone. So Avinash picks up a violin and plays the melody himself. Priya, who is also at the festival, hears the familiar notes drifting through the air. She runs desperately toward the sound but cannot locate where it is coming from. Avinash, so close after 14 long years, feels the crushing weight of almost finding her yet again. And then, a miracle. A gust of wind carries a 100-rupee note directly to him. He picks it up, and his breath catches. A phone number is scrawled across it, the very same note Janu once gave him as a child. With shaking hands, he dials. Priya answers. He tells her he is Sino, and he is right here at the Rockville Music Festival. Her voice breaks as she tells him she is there too. But before he can tell her exactly where he is, her phone dies. Avinash lifts the violin one last time and pours every ounce of his 14-year weight into that melody. Across the festival, Priya hears it. She runs toward the sound, and then she sees him, Avinash, playing their melody with tears in his eyes. In that breathtaking moment, everything clicks into place. The man she fell in love with just days ago is Sino. He was always Sino. She breaks down in tears of pure relief, realizing she had fallen for Sino all over again without even knowing it. After 14 years, 3 months, and 17 days, they have finally found each other. And that is the story of the beautiful 2017 Tamil film Hello. Directed by Vikram Kumar, this captivating blend of romance and action takes us on a serendipitous journey wrapped in fate and destiny. Weren't we all moved by Avinash's relentless determination to find his childhood love, no matter the cost? His devotion never once wavered. If you have ever experienced a love that's strong and unyielding, how did it shape your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more incredible movie stories like this. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.